And good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to the Irish Hills of Michigan International Speedway for the third to last race of the season, our 14th race for the PCSRA AutoZone Amateur Series. A couple of days ago, they were at Rockingham, North Carolina, which was won by Amy Pruitt. Today, we're here at the Irish Hills of Michigan, and we only have 2 more races to go after today's race, so time's running out for drivers to get themselves into title contention. As far as that's concerned, Blake Peppers will start on the pole position for today's race. Peppers comes into this race 26 in the points, so he's well out of contention to make a title run. Alongside of him is the 73, and that is Natalie Fisher. Fisher comes into this race 13th in the point standings and is more than likely about to be eliminated from having a chance to get not only into title contention, but also the fact she will not be in contention as far as trying to get a charter is concerned for next season. Zach Lambert in row number 2. Lambert comes as I just hit the wrong button. Let's go back up to the pace car if you ask me. And then back to pit lane 1. There we go. Zach Lambert in row number 2. Lambert comes into this race 31st in the points, not the season he would like. And Marcus Sellers, who lost the points lead last week or 2 days ago to Jennifer Power at Rockingham, North Carolina, he starts 4th. He is 2nd in the points. There is the point standing. Speaking of the points, and it's time to get these cars ready to go. It's the Henry Ford Health, I think it's the Health Systems 200, something like that. If I butchered it wrong, I'm sorry, okay? Because as of this recording, this is actually my second race of recording in the span of, 45 minutes. So just letting you all know. Anyway, let's go over the point standings because I blabbered on enough. The gal who comes in as the points leader, Jennifer Power, leads Marcus Sellers by 31 points over the 16. Michael Anderson lost the spot a couple of days ago at Rockingham, North Carolina after a dismal run. He is 3rd in the points. Carolina Bradley 4th. Rounding out the top 5 is Ingrid Pollard. She is 109 points back. Pete Ramirez is 6th. Luca Rosso 7th. Curtis Glover fell 3 spots down to 8th in the points. Amy Pruitt with her 2nd win of the year 2 days ago at Rockingham, North Carolina. She is 9th. And Stephanie Carlson has clawed her way inside the top 10. She is also another one of those drivers who's within striking distance of possibly getting a charter for next season. It's going to be 100 laps of racing. These drivers will have to make pit stops. So we're going to show you the rest of the starting grid before I forget. There's the top 28. There's the rest of your results, or as far as qualifying is concerned. And yes, it is 50 laps these cars can go on a fuel run. So this is going to be, if we get some cautions early, we can make this a 2-stop race. Here we go. We're green from the Irish Hills of Michigan. Also, I had to restart my NR game because after I saved the results for Rockingham, North Carolina 2 days ago, my game decided to quote-unquote crash, but I got the race in, so ha ha ha, in your face, NR, you douchebag. That's what I call karmic retribution. As Cleopatra Gamal, who's coming off a dead last finish at Rockingham. This is a backup car after she was involved in a crash because her primary car was damaged after Rockingham, North Carolina. So she is in a backup car. Everybody else had their cars repaired from Rockingham, North Carolina. So teams have had to work their cars, save them some money. At least they have, backup cars in case they had damage from Rockingham, North Carolina, because remember, it was a quick turnaround getting to Michigan for these drivers. But they'll be back to normal next week at Talladega. Oh, they're 4 wide. As Paul Walker is now trying to keep second, but Lucas Albon, the 0-1, is going to say otherwise. Michael Anderson, by the way, has taken the race lead. Ticker was having a long time trying to update. Everybody did take the start, so there will not be. So we did not have a wave off as far as that's concerned. Of course, this is a 100-lap race. And of course, this is the start of the Michigan weekend, since we got Rockingham done really quickly about an hour ago as of this recording. Lucas Albon, who was inside the top 10 in the early part of the season, he's all the way down. He's now in 25th position in the points. He is already mathematically eliminated from having a chance at the championship. But he just wants to finish off his season with a trip to victory lane, as we have not had a caution. Let's look at the back of the field here. See Lucy Granger. She is a rookie here. Of course, she's never raced here at Michigan, but we'll see if she can have a good result here today. There's Ben Carpenter. 1 point was the points leader for this series earlier on in the season till he had that free fall. And now he's just trying to find his. Of course, he's already mathematically eliminated from the championship. But if any of our championship contenders run into trouble, it could really change up the complexion. Because remember, you could have the points lead going into Talladega. You won't be, however, safe of possibly getting involved in that dreaded big one that we're going to have next week, if that is indeed the case. And remember, next week it's 76 laps at Talladega. And yes, we will bring you the full 76 laps, not do what ARCA did to the Xfinity Series in real life as of this recording. Dumbasses. Because that would be stupid of us if we called the race early, which we're not going to. Pete Ramirez, who comes in this race 6th in the points. She is on the outside looking in as far as trying to get a charter is concerned for the Truck Series. Now, why do I say charter is concerned? Because remember, you finish in the top 5 of the points, regardless if you're in championship contention or not, you could clinch your charter for next season for the Truck Series. And you know, there's a lot of team owners in the Truck Series, including myself, up here in the broadcast booth. So that's good news. As Amy Pruitt leads that lap. Good news to you Abigail Furling fans. Her surgery went successful. And from that major accident back at Arizona, when that race weekend got canceled because of that huge wreck, I'm happy to say that Abigail Furling has been released from the hospital out in Arizona, and she is here at the racetrack. So it's great to see Abigail Furling back at the track. Prudence Littlejohn, by the way, who you will see her next week. Of course, she's out for the Monster Energy Series for the rest of the season, so Stephanie Driscoll will take over the driving duties for the remainder of the season. And Driscoll is trying to also gain a spot in that series, even though it will be in the tier groups for next season. There's Curtis Glover in the 68, lost a couple of spots a couple of days ago at the Rockingham Speedway in North Carolina. Which, even though it's called North Carolina Speedway, but we all know, it's always known as The Rock. We call it some people call it North Carolina Speedway. I call it Rockingham, North Carolina. Hey, at least it's called The Rock. We can all agree on that. And Carpenter still leads. Ryan Madison currently in second. Madison dropped 6 spots 2 days ago after a dismal run at Rockingham in North Carolina. Rockingham, NC. And the other thing is, I also clarify which track I'm referring to. Every time I bring up the word Rockingham, some people keep asking me, are you referring to Rockingham, North Carolina, or Rockingham, UK? And I always clarify and put Rockingham, North Carolina. That's why I put the NC, so that way when I upload a race from Rockingham, I clarify which track we are at. So that way there is not any confusion. Because sometimes we can get a confusion and I will have to get them unconfused, if you know what I mean. There's Esther Roberts in the 97. What could have been for this female driver? 34th in the points. What could have been if she would have been very consistent? Because at the beginning of the year, she looked like to be a title contender, but she fell apart midway through the season and has not fully recovered ever since. And like I said, her only top 5 and top 10 this season was, interestingly enough, the only was when she won at Daytona back in the beginning of the season. So, yeah, that's why I say the words, just what if she didn't have poor finishes and she would have been in contention for this championship. So, you know, it sucks it happened, but, you know, that's racing for you. Paul Walker currently in 4th, and Zach Lambert currently rounding out your top 5. As Ben Carpenter, who comes into this race 21st in the point standings, all he's doing is just trying to find victory lane. Of course, remember, as I said, you know, he was leading the points earlier on in the season, and also, like Esther, was also a title contender, but as I said before, you know, fell in that slump and he never fully recovered. Same with the 97 team. So, you know, if they are going to be, and yes, they will be back next season, but will they fully recover from this little mess that they got themselves in? We will just have to wait and see for next season. There's Carolina Bradley, currently 4th in the point standings. If you weren't with us 2 days ago at Rockingham, North Carolina for this series, I talked about a announcement that came out during the before the Rockingham NC race, which, by the way, was to make up for their Kansas race, which would explain why we were not at Kansas in the first place for the amateur series. But getting back to the point, the age limit where you have to be like 18 years old and all that, that will no longer come into play for, I mentioned it was going to be for the Truck Series and Buffalo Wild Wings Series. I forgot to mention in that race, I'll go ahead and add on top of that, that also includes this series, because there will not be any age requirements for this series going forward. So it doesn't matter if you're 15, 16 years old, you know, there's not going to be an age requirement for this series. And it also could be going, and I talked about, you know, there were rumors about it's going to go away for both the Trucks and Buffalo Wild Wings series. It may not, however, go away for the Monster Energy series or the Tier series we're going to start having next season. I cannot believe they have not wrecked so far. That really surprised me. There's the points leader, Jennifer Power, up there. I cannot believe they have kept this together for 17 laps. I'm very damn impressed. I thought I was about to jinx it, but I'm not, surprisingly. Tommy Montgomery and Amy Pruitt. This is not what Amy Pruitt needs. But she knows we still have a long way to go. There's Mona Gamal right behind her sister Cleopatra. And of course, the AutoZone Amateur Series are here this weekend. And of course, like I said, the Gamal sisters are great friends. And found this interesting is that the Gamal sisters, who are already 18 years old, because they had their 18th birthday in the off season, or before, I think it was before Indianapolis, but anyway, which was their debut race, which was back around race number, back at Indy when they turned 18. They went to school with the Amirmoez siblings. So they know the Amirmoez family, and they didn't know that the Amirmoez siblings were racing. And of course, they're not only good friends, but they look like family members. And of course, Katsuro Amirmoez, who you will see him and the other Monster Energy Series drivers tomorrow. Katsuro Amirmoez just recently made it into the next round of the playoffs, and believe it or not, he could do something that's never happened before. The regular season champ going on to win the championship in Monster. That's something we have not seen before in this series since the introduction of the regular season champion was implemented. I think it was back last season. As Lucy Granger leads, of course, we will see her sister next week at Talladega. And also, I want to bring up the DVR situation right now in terms of silly season. So, I talked about this the last several weeks that I said, Daniel Voiles Racing is going to have Chloe Erickson run in the Monster Energy, or not Monster Energy, excuse me, the Buffalo Wild Wings Series. I'm, by the way, going to go ahead and share this race to everybody in the President's chat. But back to the discussion in hand, in the serious note. I talked about Daniel Voiles Racing was going to have Chloe Erickson, who was going to be moving down to the Buffalo Wild Wings Series for next season. What I didn't realize, however, keyword however, was that I didn't realize this myself until I saw the Dega entry list, that the gal that I had in Buffalo Wild Wings Series, which is Olympia Brightly, I didn't realize she had a Buffalo Wild Wings Series, right? And I didn't realize I already had a driver in Buffalo Wild Wings Series, believe it or not. So that means, I had to think, what am I going to do as far as my lineup is concerned for next season, as we're looking at Liliana Bata. So I had to think, do I allow Chloe Erickson, do I trust her to go down the Buffalo Wild Wings Series, or do I allow Olympia Brightly to tell Chloe, hey, I'm going to take care of your spot for next season in Buffalo Wild Wings. I want you, because Ben Erickson, who you will see him tomorrow, I want Ben Erickson to have you stay up in the Monster Energy Series or the tier series we're going to have for next season. Because here's the thing, if Chloe Erickson goes to victory lane here, then it does a number of things. But knowing I didn't realize that I had Olympia Brightly in that series to begin with, I could be rethinking about possibly just putting, not Cleopatra, Olympia Brightly. There we go. I had to think of who I was referring to. I may end up putting Olympia Brightly in that ride for Buffalo Wild Wings Series instead of Chloe Erickson. And if that is indeed the case, and Chloe wants to agree on, having Brightly in that ride instead of Chloe, and if that is indeed the case, then that's probably what I may end up going. So that means I could possibly already have my driver lineup set for next season, which I didn't know that was going to be already confirmed until now. But there will be an announcement as far as that is concerned before the Monster Energy Series race tomorrow. And like I said, I didn't realize I had a driver in Buffalo Wild Wings until I was looking at the Dega entry list, and I was like, ah, crap, I didn't realize I had a driver already in Buffalo Wild Wings series. Plus, I didn't realize the fact that Olympia Brightly already had a charter for that series, may I remind you. But I was actually saving that charter for next season, so that either could be good for my team or could be bad for my team. We'll just have to wait and see. Boy, and if that gets confirmed in the press conference tomorrow, that's going to shake up my lineup even more. And speaking of drivers that will be in the Buffalo Wild Wings Series race, speaking of the Buffalo Wild Wings Series, now that we're on the subject of that series, as the phone was ringing for whatever reason, I'm not worried about the phone. Lauren Grubias, who you will see her next week, as well as the other drivers, she and Annie Crenshaw will be making their Buffalo Wild Wings Series debuts next week. How interesting was that? So that's great to have, you know, and of course Lauren Grubias is one of the drivers who's currently in the safe zone. At one point she was in the danger zone of losing her charter, but after winning at Kansas last week, she might have locked her a spot in the Buffalo Wild Wings Series for next season, which I don't DVR had planned Grubias going up. They knew Sarah Costello was going to be in the Buffalo Wild Wings because she is so far high up in points. She's actually the points leader of the drivers who didn't make the playoffs. So we kind of knew, and the other thing is the gal that's trying to pass her, Erica Douglas, she's a Monster Energy Series driver. As, in fact, let me look at the Coca-Cola Truck Series points. Oh, whoops, I was on Truck Series and I went too far. Dang it. There we go. It's Michael Anderson's taking the lead. Of course, Anderson's trying to take the points lead back. As I look at the Truck Series points, here's the thing. Erica Douglas is a Monster Energy Series driver. Chloe Carmichael is going to be more than likely staying in Buffalo Wild Wings Series for another season. Little John is the next highest driver, but the other thing is she's also running part-time in Monster. So that would be number 2. Jesse Arts Foster's. Bridget Thomas is in Buffalo Wild Wings Series. Grubias is 3. And right now, Riley Roblier, who, like I said, you will see him next week. He is the guy on the bubble as far as trying to get a spot up to the up to the Buffalo Wild Wings Series, excuse me. So possibly, if Grubias continues to have another good run, she might have just saved herself. She might have just gotten her a spot in Buffalo Wild Wings. Now, remember, the 6th team, and here's a bit of irony. The last 2 drivers I had in that 6 ride has kept their charter for the next season. So the streak of having the number 6 truck is looking pretty darn good, if you know what I mean. Of course, remember, we're still going to be Chevrolets for next season for DVR. So, yeah, as we're back on topic with this race, the Amateur Series race. Lucas Albon currently leading. Dylan Jacobs in second. That's Nina Cambridge in third. We're already past the halfway point as far as a fuel run is concerned. Excuse me, I just belched. I'm having something to drink, if y'all don't mind. Excuse me again. Even though I did get some sleep last night because I went to bed early. However, I woke up early. Talk about my sleep schedule. It needs to be fixed in a major way. Jennifer Powers all the way back here in 35th. There's Marcus Thatcher, Dan McAllister. There's Lucy Granger. Of course, Lucy will run one more season here in the AutoZone Amateur Series. And of course, she has also been doing very good over in the Truck Series. Let's see. Let me look at her Truck Series stats while we're thinking about this. Lucy Granger has only had one top 10 so far in her rookie, well, somewhat rookie year in trucks. She will still run less than 10 races, or she has competed in more than 10 races, but she's done good so far in her limited starts, may I remind you. And also we were talking about, the Gamal sisters, now that they're already 18 years old, does this bring into question, do they want to test the waters of possibly running in the Truck Series next season? I mean, yes, they are 18 years old, which under the current rules, that if you are 18 years old, you are allowed to run the oval races. Which, that's going to be something they'll have to think about. Of course, remember, Lucy Granger is running in the Truck Series because she is replacing the now gone Benny MacArthur. And she's only, like I said, in her 3 starts, she's only scored one top 10 of her career. But then again, this is a learning curve this is a opportunity she's running because she's running that truck till the end of the year. She will drive for Smart Motorsports next season in the Truck Series. So she's definitely going to be learning a lot as she goes along. And of course, remember, whoever finishes in the top 5 in the points, doesn't matter if you're out of the title hunt, as you can go away, Virus Protector and all that other shit. But back to what I was talking about, so say if you are like 3rd in points, you're mathematically eliminated from the championship. Yes, you're eliminated from the championship, but you're not eliminated as far as getting a charter is concerned for next season. You're still in contention to get a charter. Just keep that in mind. Even if you don't win the championship, there's still a good chance you have something to play for. I mean, you have 2 things to play for. A championship, or in Marcus Sellers' case, Rookie of the Year honors, or, for all of the drivers, a charter for next season. And by the way, Michael Anderson came in this race 2 points ahead of Marcus Sellers in the battle for the Rookie of the Year honor, which, by the way, it's looking like it's going to be a 2-horse race. Stephanie Carlson is a driver who's somewhat in contention, but she needs the top 2 to have more bad luck if she wants to battle for the Rookie of the Year honors, which is looking very unlikely. So it's going to be, like I said, between Sellers and Michael Anderson. And like I said, even if Michael Anderson or Marcus Sellers don't win a championship, as I said, you have that or not championship, excuse me. You could either win a championship or that charter for next season. Because like I said, both of them, even though they're still mathematically eligible for the Drivers' Championship, they still would be eligible for a charter for next season. Because it's looking like only 12 drivers are battling for the championship, but realistically, there's only 4. Wouldn't that be something? But remember, we're heading to Talladega next week, and that could get a little bit spicy. And that is a wild card race. And we saw what happened at Daytona, even though we didn't have any cautions. Something tells me we're not going to have a repeat of Daytona. We could have a caution at Talladega. Something tells me we're going to have a yellow at Dega next week. Guaranteeing you that. It's not going to be another Daytona. Hope not. And that's for the running of the General Tire 200. Alright, while these drivers are currently racing and getting ready for pit stops, I'm going to go use the bathroom. So I will be back. If anything happens while I'm gone, we'll rewind it. Alright, I am back. So it looks like I didn't miss much after having to go to the bathroom. Good thing the bathroom is right next to me in the commentator box where I'm at. And to my surprise, we're still green, surprisingly. So we're about 6 laps away from what would be green flag pit stops. And if this thing stays green, I was thinking it was going to be a 2-stop race. If this thing stays green like it is, we might have these drivers come in the pit right around the midway point of this race, which, if that's indeed the case, they're going to be right on the money as far as making it on fuel is concerned. Or right near that borderline of making it. As Heba Gamal, currently the leader. Of course, like I said, she's ineligible of winning the championship. Of course, Mona Gamal is the former winner of the season. Cleopatra's had some okay runs, even though she's 40th in the points and quote-unquote 4th in the points as far as the drivers who've ran part-time is concerned. Damian San Diego and Johnny Carter, just like I said, out here just getting some experience, just like the other part-time drivers. Only 6 part-time drivers. The other 36 have raced every race this season. Ooh, we could have 4 wide here. But somehow they've settled it down to 3 wide. Remember, these guys are trying to battle for a charter. Tomorrow, for the Monster Energy Series, they're battling for a spot in the Final 4. Keep that in mind for the drivers that are battling for a championship. Saw Jennifer Power. We talked about Jennifer Power. The guy who's trying to run her down for the points lead. Where's Marcus Sellers, you ask? Where's that 6 car? He's up there in 12th. He was second in points coming out of this race. There he is. There's Sellers. Michael Anderson's running 5th. He came as race 3rd in points. But remember, we're coming up to green flag pit stops. So we're going to go back to Heva Gamal. I'm going to go check the voicemail, and I will be back before we have pit stops starting. We had a caution that could really spice things up. Looks like we didn't have any voicemail. I think they just hung up the phone. Okay, so I didn't miss much, so we're back. So you didn't miss much of the little mini commercial break. All right, we are at the halfway point of this race. And pit stops have begun for drivers. So green flag pit stops have begun. Ryan Madison was the first car to come to pit road. As looks like Lucas Albon's going to stay out. So green flag pit stops have begun as we are now halfway through this race and some drivers are staying out. And staying out an extra lap could be the difference if you could try to make this on just this one pit stop. Plus, they also need some fresh tires because, like I said, they've been on these tires since the start of the race. And it looks like Lucas Albon and them are going to come to pit road. No, looks like some other drivers are coming to pit road. Albon's staying out. He's going to risk it. He's going to risk it for the biscuit, ladies and gentlemen. He might have just regretted it. He should have came to pit road. Boy, if he pulls this off, a couple of other drivers did that, including the guy who's second in points. That would be Marcus Sellers. He's also risking it for the biscuit. This may either help them or hurt them. But remember, they're on the CTS physics, and the caution is out for the first time today. Boy, they went a lot further than that, and the caution is out. These drivers just stayed out because pit lane is closed. Oh, and this is going to trap some drivers a lap down as a result because this caution came out at an untimely fashion. It's like an incident going into turn number 1. And Albon's going to have to shut the car off so he can try to save fuel. Because like I said, he is yet to come to pit road. Let's see what the caution is for. As looked out, that was a bit close. Natalie Fisher nearly ran in the back of Patrick Combs, caused a little bit of a stack up, and, well, Marcus Thatcher didn't slow down. Just ran the back of the 73 for some reason. Not sure what that was all about. I have to find out what the caution was for. It looks like those drivers are possibly out of gas and had to make it to pit road. Let's see what happened here. Okay, there's where the yellow happened. Oh, it was Marcus Thatcher. That would be the reason for the yellow. Okay, can't get a good angle. Let's go to helicopter. Okay, this is a good one. So this is coming out of the pit lane. And boy, it looked like Lucy Granger went through the grass for some reason. Looks like her car got loose, but I don't know if Marcus thought he was clear or Carolina could have backed off. Whatever the case, that sent the 10 car around, and that was right in front of oncoming traffic, and the officials had no choice but to throw the caution because that was in a dangerous position. And looks like all those drivers who didn't come to pit road before the caution came out have come to pit road, but all these drivers who already came to pit road, they're going to be restarting on the tail end of the lead lap, so that's not going to do them any good. Because, like I said, they trapped a number of drivers a lap down as a result. So we're going to end up having, like, what, 36 drivers, or no, 41 drivers on the lead lap. They penalized, by the way, Marcus Thatcher 1 lap for running in the back of the 73 under the yellow is what I was told. And Luca Rosso has now dropped out of the race with a blown engine. So I thought we were going to get away with it with nobody out of the race, but that was not meant to be. Now it'll end Luca Rosso's day, so that's a tough break for him. Lights out on the pace car. And where's the leader, you ask? Michael Anderson. He's restarting right there, because he's got a bunch of lap cars in front as Marcus Thatcher. Where's the 10 car? Okay, he's lining up on the inside line, so now, theoretically, he's now on the tail end of the lead lap. And Marcus Thatcher's been asked to see the officials in the AutoZone Amateur Series trailer for running in the back of the 73 under the yellow. And, of course, the 44 car is out of the race due to a blown header. So this is the... Nina Cambridge is restarting ahead of the line. As we're going to go back to green flag racing here, and we'll just follow the 2 cars. Michael Anderson will lead us back to the green. We're back underway here at Michigan. What an ill timing of that yellow flag to happen right in the middle of pit stops, man. And, of course, the 73 has damage. That's really going to affect the aerodynamics on that 73 machine, so we'll see. Michael Anderson not only trying to take the points lead back after a dismal run 2 days ago at Rockingham, North Carolina, but also trying to get himself into a championship contender. Remember, he led the points for most of the season, midway through the season, may I remind you. And he's already on the chopping block as far as a U-Blue is concerned. I could theoretically say Jacob Tutu is about to put himself on the chopping block as far as possibly getting a U-Blue is concerned. But we'll see. All these drivers in front of the leaders need a caution so they can get back on the lead lap. I believe Marcus Thatcher had to come back to pit road for a flat, because he flat spotted those tires when he spun coming back across the track. And of course, fuel mileage will come into play for the Amateur Series race, or not Amateur Series race, excuse me, the Monster Energy Series race that we will have here tomorrow. Oh, we got a crash. Oh my God, a big wreck. The leader's wrecked. Caution's out, and that's big for all these drivers who were on the tail end of the lead lap. They just got a 2-mile free pass. But Michael Anderson was in it. The points leader's in it, Jennifer Power. And that threw this championship wide open. Mona Gamola's in it, Johnny Carter, Ariel Moore, Nina Cambridge, Marcus Thatcher, Ben Carpenter's involved. And these drivers just got a 2-mile free pass. And that's first and third in points. And this guy is smiling really good. That's Marcus Sellers. Remember, he came in this race second in points, and now with the problems that Jennifer Power has had, he might capitalize. Let's see what happened over here in turn number 4, the red flag is out, by the way. Red flag immediately, and rightfully so. We had a lot of cars. And this happened going into turn number 4. So our caution, our second of the day. Let's see how this got started. They were 4 wide here. That's Heba Gamal in the 1. I want to make sure that I said it right. Yes, I was right. Or, no, that was Mona Gamal, I'm sorry. Got up in the Marcus Thatcher, and oh my goodness, that is almost reminiscent what happened at Arizona in the Monster Energy Series. Johnny Carter got collected. Both of the Lamberts, I think, got a piece of it. That was Zach who got a piece of it. I don't know if the 29 got any damage or not. Yes, the 29 did get damage. Jennifer Power was also involved. Nina Cambridge as well. Daisy Flowers was collected. I didn't realize she was collected in this. That's not good for Flowers. 12th in the points. We might have had some drivers out of the race. So after the first 50-something laps was cleaned, lately, the last few laps, all hell is broken loose. And this is bad news for Michael Anderson, who might be on the verge of getting a "you blew it" as far as the championship is concerned. As now he is officially out of this race, and now these drivers who just got a 2-mile free pass are just playing catch-up as Blake Morris is the leader. We're going to have not only some drivers out of the race, but this threw the championship, as far as the points lead is concerned, very wide open, and Anderson is out of the race. And that threw this championship wide open. It's never over until the checker flag waves at Toronto. I've said it time and time again. You may be the points leader at either Michigan, Talladega, or Toronto, but you're not safe as far as that's concerned. Boy, talk about this through this championship for a big loop, as we just got the 1 to go signal. Some drivers are a lap down, unless they came to pit road when that caution came out and didn't get the 1.5 miles or 2 miles around. Yep, they did, but they will be up to speed. They should have gone around, but they didn't. We only had 1 driver out of the race. This one, we're going to have more drivers out of the race. Michael Anderson's out, Ariel Moore, Ben Carpenter, Mona Gamal is out, Nina Cambridge and Marcus Thatcher out of the race. They joined Luca Rosso, who has gone behind the wall. That might have just taken Luca Rosso not only out of this championship hunt, but he also might have just took himself out of a chance to possibly get a charter for next season in the Truck Series. And Michael Anderson, this might put his chances of getting a charter for next season in danger of not happening. Wouldn't that be a shame if that happened? As we are back to green flag racing. 29 cars on the lead lap. Actually, Patrick Combs was supposed to be on the tail end of the lead lap. I don't know why he lined up on that inside line. But Patrick Combs may be asked to see the stewards after the race for a restart violation. Not sure why he was lined up on the inside line. He thought he was a lap down, which now he is. But I don't know why he was on the inside line. He should have been restarting in front of the leader. But either way, race control will have a word with him in the big AutoZone Amateur Hauler after this race. And Angela Thornburg has taken the race lead. And all those drivers involved have now taken themselves to the infield care center. Or in Luca Rosso's case, he's already gone to his own hauler and had to go for an early shower, which that's too bad for him. That's just too bad. I see the field separated. I don't know if there's a yellow or not. Jennifer Power has continued on, but she's like off the pace with no hood. Thought we had a wreck here, but looks like we're still clean and green as far as that's concerned. The first 50-something laps, we had no incidents and a green flag run going ever since the first 2 cautions. Oh, we had a wreck on the back straightaway. We had some smoke here. See where all that smoke came from. Let's pause it right there. While the race is going on, I want to jump back and look at a replay. Somebody must have spun. It might have been the 35. And, yep, it was the 35. Damian San Diego. And who is that? Oh, that was Patrick Combs. That was almost our 3rd caution of the race. But they kept it together, and since they didn't spin all the way around, the caution did not come out. But Johnny Carter's really going slow. And remember, Esther Roberts, who was on the tail end of the lead lap, got that free pass, got back on the lead lap. She's now leading this race, looking for her 2nd career win. Remember, Esther Roberts' only win it this season was at Daytona, and that's been her only top 5 this season. Top 5, top 10 this season, may I remind you. As Blake Morris in the 27 is going to try to take the lead. Lucy Granger's not on the lead lap. She's running 1 lap down, but she might get a free spot because of the 51 and the 43 who was involved in that wreck. So that's 2 weeks in a row for Lucy Granger, who looked like had a good car, but not the result she was hoping for. But then again, she's never raced at these tracks we're coming up to before. So to be fair for her, and like I said, as I said before, at Rockingham, North Carolina, I'll say it again, she'll get the benefit of the doubt. And I know Cody Smart's probably still grieving about Ari Springer, who just recently got eliminated from the playoffs last week at Texas. Of course, we were supposed to have a doubleheader, but I decided since we've already ran Kansas, I said, why not just have our elimination race go to Texas? Johnny Carter just got laps. That's a free position for Lucy Granger and Patrick Combs, as that 51 is going to be not up to speed. And Marcus Sellers, who comes into this race 2nd in the points, and he is absolutely on his way to capitalizing on the misfortunes of Jennifer Power, who was caught up in that big wreck, and thankfully he was on the tail end of the lead lap when it happened. So Marcus Sellers got a huge break out of that deal. Let's see where the gal that came in this race 4th in the points. Oh, Carolina Bradley's a lap down. And if she has another bad finish, that's 2 weeks in a row for Carolina Bradley. Where's Ingrid Pollard? She's running in 18th. Not the best of runs, but could have been worse, as Lucy Granger just got held up by Jennifer Power, so that's another free position for the 47. As Esther Roberts is trying to put Patrick Combs back a lap down. And it is confirmed Patrick Combs has been ordered to meet with race control for that restart infraction, where he was supposed to line up on that, or in front of the leader. Instead, he lined up on the inside line thinking he was already a lap down, which he's now a lap down. So Patrick Combs is, like I said, going to be heading to the AutoZone trailer after the race once he is released, once he's out of the dressing room. There's Lucy Granger. Made that little mistake where she was on the tail lead lap. They told her to pit when she shouldn't be pitting because they can make it the rest of the way, and well, that kind of backfired, and she has not fully recovered ever since. So that's a bit of a shame for her, as we're about to be 3/4 of the way through this race. So that's 2 weeks in a row for Lucy Granger through no fault of her own. And of course, remember, she was on the tail end of the lead lap, but made a critical mistake, and now she's going to pay the price for this unless she can get back on the lead lap the hard way. And providing we get another yellow. Because the 43 and the 51 are going to be a problem. And like I said, that's going to throw the championship picture wide open, because Marcus Sellers, who's second in points, is going to take the points lead back heading into next week at Talladega. As we will have 25 laps of racing to go. While Esther Roberts leads, I want to remind everybody that this telecast is presented by the authority of the Pacific Coast Sports Racing Association, and it may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Any account or description of this broadcast may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pacific Coast Sports Racing Association. PCSRA want to thank you fans for your continued support for this 2023 season. We hope you enjoy. I'm about to go put some ice in here. We're supposed to start a VC soon, but Brian's probably already up. Of course, it's daytime and everybody should be awake unless you had a late night shift at work. And there you go. Probably have like as by the time you're watching this race, I probably already started my intermission report, which will happen after this race. As look out, the 51's going to be an annoying back marker, as he's not even out of third gear. He might be called to the big AutoZone amateur trailer because he's not even meeting minimum speed. And he's holding up a bunch of other people. Easy Flowers about to go a lap down. That's another, actually, no, that's not a free position. I'm sorry. I thought that was for Lucy, but it's not. Next car they're going to catch is Kevin Lambert. And yes, he has some damage to his Chevrolet, so he was collected in that wreck. And that would be another free position for the 47. As we're coming down to the end of this race. So far, nobody's watching, which they'll probably watch this race and see all the carnage and all that useful shit, so. Probably a good chance I'm probably not going out to eat for the second time in the last 3 weeks. But that's because I don't have enough money in my account to even go out to eat. And I'm trying to be very careful with my money, okay? Because if I don't get my check today, as of this recording, then I'm probably not going out to eat. And I'm just going to be clever and say I'm not even going to risk it. Because I'm already below the $50 target. You know, when I have enough money, I will go out to eat. Otherwise, I will be smart enough and not be stupid with my money. So there you go. There's Liliana Bata last week, or 2 days ago at Rockingham, North Carolina. Got involved in an incident, spun in the grass, never fully recovered, never got a caution to get her caught back up. And she ended up finishing pretty poorly in the 41st position. as they have put Kevin Lambert a lap down. That's a free position for the 47 if she can get around him. But Liliana Batza, 35th in the points, just trying to find a way to get to victory lane, if you know what I mean. Next week is going to be good because we're going to Talladega, and Talladega, every time an NRQ, or let me start over before I DARP. Talladega is going to be a track next week that will cater to the underdog, where a driver who's currently struggling in points, like a Liliana Batza, like a Alex Winters or Blake Morris or Natasha Drummond, who are struggling in the point standings, we could see an underdog winner at that race next week. As guess who? Jennifer Power going a lap down. And Power's trying to do her best to not get involved in an incident. And yep, that was a free position for the 47 because she got around Kevin Lambert. And Tommy Montgomery currently the leader, as we got 17 laps of racing to go. I may have all the recording done before October, or way before we get into October. Because yes, we are losing daylight as far as outside's concerned, but that's all right. Because remember, we still have to set our clocks back an hour, so we get an extra hour of sleep. Which, in my personal opinion, that's good for us. Curtis Glover, who's trying to have a bounce-back performance after a disappointing race 2 days ago at Rockingham, North Carolina. He's having a good run here today, and Esther Roberts just took the lead back. As now they're about to catch Johnny Carter, and well, the 97 just dispatched the 51 without a problem. Ooh, Blake Peppers nearly ran in the back of the Phoenix Chevrolet, as the 51 is still not up to speed. That 51 is just being an annoying back marker, as Ryan Madison is currently off the pace. He is the last car on the lead lap. Lucy needs a caution immediately to get back on the lead lap. Speaking of Rockingham, North Carolina, I'm trying to bounce back after a disappointing result at Rockingham, NC, in the ASCC race. Of course, we are off this week, so that's good. Of course, I got to start a VC because even though Wormy doesn't know, as of this recording, he doesn't know who got eliminated, but he probably saw the photo in the Discord server, so probably he already knows who got eliminated. Because I've already done the elimination race yesterday as of this recording. Of course, everybody went to work with the exception of me yesterday. This is actually the second day in a row that I've recorded multiple videos. Of course, I recorded the Buffalo Wild Wings Series race. I recorded the Monster Energy Series race. So I'm doing good as far as recording races is concerned, because now I'm already almost done with the season, so I don't have to worry about it except upload the damn races. Which I'll go ahead and throw a little note to everybody if you're watching this. All of these races will be out at around the noon Eastern Standard Time races, so there you go. I'll try to premiere the non-charter races for some of the for Buffalo Wild Wings and trucks that did non-charter. For some races, they will be premiered. Everything else will just be up around the noon Eastern time. So, hooray! At least you all can be flippin' happy. As we're coming to 10 laps of racing to go, and it's looking impossible for the 47 to get back on the lead lap, but she's gaining a lot of spots, and she's battling with the 69 for a position. 10 to go. Esther Roberts looking for her second win of the season. Of course, like I said, she has not won since Daytona, believe it or not. I don't think we're done with lap traffic as far as this race is concerned. And lap traffic could really play a factor who's going to win. That would be Johnny Carter and Jennifer Power. Johnny Carter's not doing the leaders any favors, and Johnny Carter's been now ordered to meet with the officials in the amateur hauler for not meeting minimum speed. Ryan Madison's about to play a factor in this, and who's going to win this race. Curtis Glover's going to get back into contention as far as getting a charter is concerned for next season. We're going to be at 6 to go when we hit the line. Here comes Blake Morris. Blake Morris, a former winner this season. Curtis Glover, a former winner this season. Blake Peppers has yet... Let me see. Has Blake Peppers won? No, Blake Peppers has yet to go to victory lane this season. Boy, it's going to come down to the wire here in this race. We'll be at 5 laps of racing to go. Once this race is over, we'll have our post-race show with Cody Smart and the Triple P clan as they will recap this race and all that, preview our first race of the 3rd round tomorrow for the Monster Energy Series. As I'm just trying to not make my hand go to sleep. I'm probably going to... And of course, today is my laundry day. And I'll more than likely go hit the shower before I start a VC. Down to 4 laps to go. Jennifer Power about to play a factor. Who's going to win this race? Wait till we see this at Dega next week, where we could have the big one. They have caught Jennifer Power. Oh, Esther's gonna get screwed. Here comes Aaron Hornishov out of nowhere. Where did that 12 come from with 3 to go? Alex Winters is yet to go to victory lane, looking for the 03's first win of their career. Don't count out Blake Peppers. He's looking for his first career win of the AutoZone Amateur Series. And I also failed to mention about the race last week. Amy Pruitt, by the way, I forgot to mention this, with 2 laps to go, became our first repeat winner of the AutoZone Amateur Series. We went 12 races, 12 different winners. We're about to have our 13th different winner in 14 races, which is pretty impressive if you ask me. But who's it going to be? Is it going to be Alex Winters? Is it going to be Blake Peppers? Or is it going to be anyone who comes out of nowhere? Who's that up ahead? That's Ryan Madison. And he's about to decide who's going to win this out of the Blue Oval camp. Don't count out Paul Walker, as we're coming to the white flag. Is there any more lap cars? Lucas Albon is the next one they're about to approach, but I don't think he'll be a factor, though. Can Peppers make a move on Alex Winters? As we're down the back straightaway for the last time here today. This is about to be a photo finish here for the Amateur Series. But I don't think Peppers is going to get it done. Alex Winters, out of nowhere, will get career win number 1, winning at Michigan. We talked about the siblings of Annie Winters, who won, April Winters, who got her first career Truck Series win this season, and now Alex Winters puts him or herself to the list of a first-time winner in the PCS array. And how cool is it doing it in the Amateur Series? And that 03 team came into this race 28th in the points after a disappointing race 2 days ago at Rockingham, North Carolina. That's a bounce-back performance and then some. Standings are now official after the 14th race of the season. Let's hope NR doesn't do what it did to me 2 hours ago. And by the way, let me also remind you, this is the second race I've recorded, like I said, in a span of 30, 45 minutes. So, as of this recording, by the time you're watching the full race. So anyway, Alex Winters gets the win. Good job for that 03 team. Blake Peppers so darn close to winning, but he'll take a second place nevertheless. Blake Peppers, this is a well-needed run, 26 in the points after an run at Rockingham, North Carolina. Paul Walker, great run for him in 3rd. Ingrid Pollard, this is doing her chances of possibly getting a charter a whole lot of good. And she's also going to capitalize on the misfortunes of Michael Anderson and Jennifer Power, who were involved in that big wreck after that first yellow, after it trapped a number of drivers a lap down as a result. She's going to come away with 4th. Drake Robertson, 5th. Blake Morris came home in 6th. 7th was Angela Thornburg. Curtis Glover in 8th. Curtis also might have capitalized on the misfortunes of those drivers ahead of him in points. Dylan Jacobs came home in 9th, and Liliana Batta came home in 10th. And goodness gracious, Esther Roberts, who led a good portion of this race, fell all the way down to 19th. That might have just been a you blew it, if you ask me. As Tommy Montgomery 11th, Dan McAllister, Cleopatra Gamol, Aaron Hornish, and Heba Gamol completed the top 15. Marcus Sellers, he was inside the top 10 in the early portion of this race before the pit stops, and which put him a lap down. He came home in 17th. Remember, he came in this race second in the points, and he did finish ahead of Jennifer Power, the gal he was trying to run down for the points lead, so he might have just taken the points lead, because the other gal that was trying to run down Sellers and Anderson, that would be Carolina Bradley. Where did she end up? 29th. After that, Lucy Granger, that little mistake came back to haunt her as she ended up finishing 30th. As you look on down through the remainder of the finishing results, I have a good feeling Jonathan Carter, or Johnny Carter, will be sent to the back of the grid for Talladega for not meeting minimum speed. Patrick Combs finished 26th, although he has that meeting with race control for that restart violation he had. I think it was on that second yellow or third yellow. It was on one of the cautions that we had. We had 24 cars finish on the lead lap. Lucas Albon was the last car that finished on the lead lap. We had 35 cars finish the race. From Madison all the way to Carter, they finished one or more laps down, and then 7 drivers did not finish the race. They finished out of the race. That included third in points Michael Anderson, Ariel Moore, Ben Carpenter, Mona Gamol, Nina Cambridge, Marcus Thatcher, and Luca Rosso, who had an engine failure after the first caution of the race. So talk about this race got a bit of interesting. The first 50-something laps was clean and good, and then all hell broke loose with 3 cautions right after that, but at least the race finished with a green flag run, which says to me, for the Mara's first race of the round of 8, it's going to make things interesting. But hey, at least congrats to Alex Winters on the win here today. And we're actually going to go ahead and show you the point standings with 2 races to go in the Amateur Series. And like I said, the last two races has shaken the points up. What did this do to the points? We're about to find out together. And it's going to be interesting to see how this is. Yeah, like I said, almost in a span of 2 hours. I've done 2 races in a span of almost 2 hours combined. Henry, Ford, Health. That's because I woke up early, so. System 200. If I said it right, hooray. If I said it wrong, boo. And then my laptop decides to be stupid with me. And I think it crashed my game again. That's 2 weeks. That's 2 races in a row where it decided to be stupid with me. But ha 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 ha! I did the race, so screw you, laptop. But yeah, congrats to Alex Winters on the win, and let's hope this laptop does not go 3 for 3 with me as of this recording. So. And I'm sorry to those that just came in late for the video, but you'll probably see the cautions and shit like that. All right, here we go. We're about to get the points revealed to you, and then I'll quickly sign off and then get ready for an intermission report. By the time you're watching this, there will not be an intermission report. But, yeah. Oh, that was a fun Michigan race. I can't wait for the Mars Division races for the Monster Energy Series after the stupid laptop loads. And now we will show you your point standings leaving Michigan with 2 races to go in the season. So I'm going to go ahead and process. Oh, I already processed. Did I already process the... Yeah, I did. I just didn't put the points in. Okay. So I was getting ready to process the laptop. Laptop's being drunk again. It's because Chrome wants to be a dumbass and be a derping hyena and say, "Oh no, we don't want you to show the points. Screw you." It's like, screw you. It's like, screw you, Chrome. So again, here's the results for those that didn't see it the first time. Okay, there we go. Now, the points before Chrome decides to be stupid with me. All right. So, that popped. Okay, here's the points. Entering Talladega with 2 races to go, and looks like Marcus Sellers has taken the points lead in the Rookie of the Year honor, so it's going to be a 2-horse race as far as that's concerned. But Marcus Sellers did take the points lead. Right now, it's looking like Sellers, Power, Pollard, Carolina Bradley, and Michael Anderson would have those charters. But at Talladega, anything can happen in that race. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race from Michigan. If you did, be sure to give this video a like. Subscribe to become part of the PCS Rate Crew today. We've shown your full finisher results. You are looking at your rookie points, your overall points, heading into next week's race at Talladega. We still got to cap up this race weekend. Trucks and Buffalo Wild Wings are still off. Monster Energy Series will start the first race of the round of 8. That will be a lot of fun. Hope you will tune in for that. The next week, all 4 series will be in action as we get ready for the Dega weekend. We have the General Tire 200 for the AutoZone Amateur Series, the penultimate race for them. For the Truck Series, it will be their second race of the second round, the Chevy Silverado 250. Then it will be the AG Pro 300 for the Buffalo Wild Wings Series. And then we cap it off with the divisions for the Monster Energy Series. As like I said, Trucks, Buffalo Wild Wings, and Monster will be the second race of the second round, setting us up for our final elimination race at the Homestead Miami Speedway. So hope you'll tune in for that. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the Monster Energy Series race. Till then, I've been Dean Evil signing off as you've been watching yet another broadcast courtesy of the PCS Array, the best center racing around the world since 2017. See you tomorrow at Michigan for the Monster Energy Series.